everyone, welcome back to Dr. J Tech.
Double J gives you a whole new tech.
This is Jacqueline.
This is Jeffrey.
As we may already know, the recent coronavirus is extremely dreadful and has caused a serious outbreak worldwide. There are plenty of vaccinations being made recently.
Yeah, but that being said, Taiwan has already imported the vaccines and allowed the general public to get vaccinated.
However, has anyone ever wondered what the virus is and how harmful could the virus be?
So what is vaccination?
And how can we prevent the virus from the vaccination? Today, we'll be sharing this interesting discussion with you guys.
Yeah, so what is that one question that everyone is so curious about?
Well, we keep hearing about coronavirus here and there. What exactly is the virus?
Right, before we start talking about the virus, we are going to play a game of bidding.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. I love games.
So the scientists found that inside the organisms, there are 8 different small molecules. 4 of the molecules are ATGC, that's written in uppercase. And the other 4 molecules are AUGC, that's written in lowercase.
Yep. That being said, there are 8 different molecules in total, and we call them the monomers.
And we can imagine these monomers into a bead, just like the bead here on the screen right now. There are 8 different monomers.
Wait, hold up. I know people might be confused here, but what are molecules?
Well, molecules are the substance made out of atoms. For instance, as everyone is familiar with the water molecules H2O, that's the molecule made with hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms.
But before we go more in depth, we're going to discuss small molecules ATGC in uppercase and AUGC in lowercase, because they are more complex than water molecules.
Correct. They are mainly made with carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen with other atoms. They have a complex structure, so we are gonna put them on the side first.
Of course. Then you might wonder, how are these tiny molecules so important?
Well, again, scientists found that inside the organisms, there are 8 different small molecules. All these molecules form into long molecules if we gather them together, which we call polymers.
Oh, we can imagine the polymers are a string of beads.
Exactly. If we combine the small molecules ATGC in uppercase together into long molecules, they will be a bigger molecules of DNA. We call this deoxyribonucleic acid.
However, if we stick these small molecules AUGC and lowercase together, they will turn into bigger molecules, RNA. We call this ribonucleic acid.
Yeah, we will leave these specific terms on a side first. Just remember DNA and RNA for now.
No wonder I often hear that DNA and RNA are both polymers. I didn't know they were both big molecules that were both being combined with small molecules together.
Yeah, DNA and RNA both stand a really important role inside our body.
Oh, for sure they are.
Next, we are sharing with you guys a really important concept of biotech, which is central dogma. This concept is that DNA makes RNA and RNA makes proteins. The reaction of DNA to RNA is called transcription, and the reaction of RNA to protein is called translation.
Wait, proteins? Are you talking about the eggs that we all consume every day?
Correct. Not just eggs, but the majority of the proteins lives within the organisms. For instance, muscles are made out of actin and myosin's composition.
Oh yeah, hair and skin are both composed of fibrin and keratin. Blood is mainly plasma protein and hemoglobin. Even chicken eggs, cow milk produced, snake venom secreted by snakes are proteins.
Yeah, they are.
Wait, does that mean the steak I eat is protein as well?
You are correct. In fact, DNA, RNA, and the proteins are all relevant to us. The proteins within our body are produced through central dogma and cause reaction.
Oh, so that being said, DNA produces RNA and RNA produces proteins in our body every day, right, Dr. Jeff?
Yeah, it happens naturally every day inside our body. So this is why we claim it as central dogma.
Ah, gotcha. Then what does this have to do with the virus?
Well, every virus has a close connection with DNA, RNA, and the proteins. The reason why the virus is being made is because there is DNA or RNA in the middle and it's wrapped in a protein shell. We code in DNA virus if it is DNA in the middle and the RNA virus if it is RNA in the middle.
For example, adenovirus, hepatitis B virus is in the DNA virus. Influenza virus and an epidemic of the new coronavirus is in the RNA virus. Wait, Dr. Jeff, I think we need a bit of an idea of what coronavirus looks like in a picture. Do you have any diagram to show us?
Yes, as you can see in the diagram, there are four major proteins in the new coronavirus. N protein combines with the RNA molecules. N proteins and E proteins combine with the phospholipids to form the envelope. The phospholipids are kind of fats. This is the weakness of the coronavirus since the soap can easily separate the phospholipids and destroy the structure of the envelope to kill the coronavirus. That's why we should wash our hands frequently. And the spike protein, so-called as S protein, which is the key feature of coronavirus. The spike protein will cause the immune response inside our body. That is also the key of the vaccine.
Oh, the coronavirus looks terrible. Then how can the coronavirus harm us?
Well, when coronavirus enters our body, it diffuses within our cells and takes off its protein shell in order to release the RNA. At the same time, it uses our body to replicate a large number of central dogmatic reactions to produce more proteins. These proteins are differentiated into two kinds. Functional proteins can harm our bodies. However, the structural proteins will form into a protein shell and cover it when a large amount of duplicated RNA. That means lots of coronavirus is produced by our cell. Then it will leave this cell to infect the other cells. And lastly, our cells will be filled with them.
Oh my, then this is extremely horrifying. So, how are we going to deal with the new coronavirus?
Good question. We have an immune system within our bodies, mainly white body cells. For example, macrophage and the natural killers cells will patrol our bodies, kill the virus when they see virus invading, break it down at the same time, tell the characteristics to the T cells and the B cells, and finally produce antibodies from B cells. Antibodies recognize the virus when they encounter the virus and will notify all the white blood cells to destroy the virus.
Oh, then this is when we get sick. High fever, coughing, nauseous, heart disease. We'll have to wait till the white blood cells hand the virus win the war and eliminate the virus. Then we can recover from the virus, right?
Yes, you got it. Let's take a look at the next diagram. It is white blood cells looks like.
Oh wow. This alien looking thing is a white blood cell that's in our body?
Yeah, it's very tiny, so it's invisible to the naked eye. But it has been all over your body protecting you, so you must treat your white blood cells well.
Okay, good point. But how are we supposed to maintain our white blood cells?
It's actually pretty simple. Make sure you have a normal daily routine and a sleeping schedule to maintain your daily energy. Consume necessary food and products every day to replenish vitamin C.
Ah, these are all the guidelines that the doctors often mention.
Yeah, they are really important.
So, are there anything else besides these simple tasks?
Of course, make sure you wash your hands regularly because the envelope of the new coronavirus is made of phospholipids, which is a kind of fat and easily destroyed by soap.
Of course, you must wash your hands with soap in order to kill the coronavirus.
Yes, your hands need to be washed as long as your hand touches your mouth or nose. People often ignore the exposure to the infection. In addition, make sure you wear your mask at home when you are with a certain number of people and if you have to be exposed outdoors, because coronavirus are mainly transmitted through droplets. Wearing your masks can protect everyone from it.
Right. People often forget to wear their mask when they're home, and the scientists have found that in family gatherings by far the route that transmit the virus the fastest.
Exactly.
Then, is there anything else besides these?
Not gonna lie, there is actually more. The most important thing is to get vaccinated as soon as possible.
Right. Heard that from Taiwan that they have opened up vaccinations. No to sound clueless, but what exactly are vaccines?
This is a great question, but it's also pretty complicated. We will discuss more about this next week at the same time with everyone.
Awesome. I've learned so much today. All right, make sure you guys tune in into our channel next week at the same time to learn what vaccines are. This is Jacqueline.
And this is Jeffrey.
And we'll bring back more information to you guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.